Yes! We're finally taking over. I was trying to do a video actually on the takeover itself, but I wanted to definitely make sure that, it was going to happen first. I wanted to make, I mean, there was everybody reporting about it on Friday just gone, but I didn't want to say anything on YouTube or anything until it was officially done. And I was at work late last night, so I could not really do a reaction video. But nonetheless, great news. And finally, Ellis Short has gone. He's gone back off to Florida. We've got Stewart Donald and Charlie Methven. Is that how you pronounce the name? I'll have to research it actually, funnily enough. But anyway, great news for the club. Great news, and it was a badly needed change in direction. So I was going to quickly research the whole thing on here, but badly needed change of direction, and it was a nice fresh approach for fans who now we might be able to look forward to next season with absolute optimism. So anyway, for this video, I'm just going to try and keep it as short and sweet as I can. I'm going to list 5 things that, in my opinion, Stewart Donald and Charlie both in turn need to sort out really going forward. And I will get Charlie's name right. If you bear with me, I will just research it. Charlie Methven, right. Roast me in the comments. I've probably got that horribly wrong. But anyway, let's go and list them here. First one, kind of half jokey one, but it is kind of important. Pinksies. If you listen to the Roker Report podcast, it's an excellent podcast, this particular episode, and it's good on them for doing that they did not have to come on and engage with fans straight away first day on the job, but that's something that Ellis Short didn't do throughout his time at Sunderland, and we needed to see more of that. But it was good to see that both Stewart and Charlie both came onto the podcast, and they basically Stewart suggested the idea of going to replace the Pinksies together with fans. Spend a day doing it. They provide the late, we provide the liver, they provide refreshments, stuff like that. And what is good, the fact that it's the non-league aspect that Stuart Donald's come from Eastleigh, which is, something I think Sunderland need actually. I think it might sort of reconnect people with the community again. Anyway, but that's a good idea. I'm all for that one. The second one, financially, I think we have got to try and trim the wage bill down. I understand they'll want to look at every player and say, well, whether you leave or not is not your decision. And by the way, I love that. I completely agree with that. We've had far too much player power, and it's about time that that's cut down and players stop taking the piss here. Which basically, Methvin basically said something along the lines of, people come to Sunderland to take the piss, and that specifically applies to players, both performances on the pitch and the application of the pitch. But I agree with that. However, even though we are now apparently debt free, the running costs of the club are going to be astronomical, especially with the wages that, the running costs of wages, especially going out of the club, is going to be far greater than the income we've got going in, which was bad enough in the Championship. It's going to be non existent in League One. So we have got to make sure that we can get the higher earners like Barini, who's pretty much out the door. Lenz is gone. You've got Kazri, Dillaboji, Kone, and Don Catamol, players like that. Matthews, Oviedo. If they don't want to be here, fine, they can piss off and go away then, because I am sick to death of players that are earning vastly good amounts of money for bare minimum contributions on the pitch. Get them out the door and then start a clean slate. The third thing is obviously to appoint a manager that is, going to basically be streetwise and get us out of League One. And that does not mean going down to League Two. It means getting promoted to the Championship and preferably as champions walking League One. Now, I know that we've got no God-given right to do that. Of course, we haven't got a God-given right to do that. But really, when you look at the budget that we are apparently going to have as well, they didn't say specific figures, but they said it should be the biggest budget in League One history. And it definitely should be astronomical. So even compared to what Wigan and Blackburn had this year, right, well, if that's the case, then we need to go and invest it properly. And if we do not go up, there's something seriously wrong. End of story. I saw something on a Barnsley fan site, Tykes TV, which was actually pretty decent content, but one of the guys saying we could do a Sunderland, piss off. No, I'm sorry. If you mean do a Sunderland, then you mean going straight back up. I'm sorry. We should not be in contention to go down to League Two. We shouldn't even be in contention to not go up. We should be in contention to be at the top of the league and walk in it. If we do our jobs properly, we should be. The fourth one is to reconnect the fans with the community. One of the things that was definitely lost from Sunderland over the last few years is the disconnect between the fans and the club itself. There's been far too much of that in recent years, and that's largely down to what Ellis Short was doing, because he wasn't a person to openly speak to the press, try and speak to the people, bar that cliched interview on the Sunderland website that we've seen before. That culture has got to change. We've got to make fans feel like it's their club again, and we've got to make sure that that we're on a journey and the fans feel just as a part of the journey as the players, the manager, the board, and all that. Now, obviously, again, this is Stewart and Charlie saying things early doors, so I will be keeping that in mind. But hopefully, when they're not just going to talk the talk, they're actually going to walk the walk as well. So that's a huge thing there. And the last thing is something that I have banged on about for so long, but I'll continue to bang on about it until it changes. The culture and mentality of Sunderland Football Club has got to change. Like Charlie said before, people have come to Sunderland basically to take the piss out of us, and players and agents specifically have come to just to take the piss. Jack Rodwell's a prime example of that. That's a sixth thing. Get rid of that bugger and all. But anyway, that's something that's got to really change. Players can't just come here expecting an easy ride, an easy payday anymore. Oh, there's no expect. Oh, it's only Sunderland. Oh, and nobody succeeds here. It's low expectations. You don't have to be at your best. Bullshit. Bullshit. Sick of that. I'm sick to death of that mentality. Get players in that will set high standards and maintain them consistently. Stop losing to shite teams. Losing to Burton Albion, losing to Barnsley, losing to Bolton. Those are the type of teams, really, as a club, we should be demolishing. No disrespect to any of those, obviously. And like I said, I'm happy Bolton have stayed up. Burton and Barnsley obviously will rightly have the same ambitions and aspirations that we do. But when you look at it, we should have a bigger budget than both of them combined. We should have a bigger budget than the majority of teams in this league. There's got to be the acceptance of mediocrity is something that has driven me insane at Sunderland over the last so many years, ever since the 12-13 season where this underachieving cycle of relegation battles started. And the last two seasons in particular have been nothing short of a disastrous catastrophe. It's been embarrassing to be even remotely in the conversation of League One. But nevertheless, that is where we are. Right now, from here, the work has to start to changing this mentality of this football club and say, nope, we're not tolerating any piss taking anymore. We're not tolerating any players not giving less than 100% every game. We're not tolerating any less than giving our absolute best and achieving high standards. That's got, and if they can do that, all the more to them. I've been very impressed with what both of them have had to say so far. So there you go, guys. This is short for my standards. Leave in the comments below and say what you think. That's what I think they need to sort out. I mean, that's a number of things. Obviously, but mainly the culture of the club has got to change, and we've got to make it feel like a family club and a fans club again, because there's been a very big disconnect over the last few years. It will take time to rectify, but I've got no doubt they can do it with the right application. See you guys later anyway, and hopefully we'll get a manager soon, and we'll start preparing finally for League One.